Hello?
Hi Doc, good afternoon. Set up
Hello, good
lang muna.
afternoon.
Sorry kayo.
It's
Alam mo
okay.
na ano kami kasi naka-live tayo sa YouTube.
Okay.
Yung excess ng ano, ginawa namin ng ano ba, yung excess ng 100 dito, diretso siya mag YouTube. Mabigyan siya ng link diretso sa YouTube. So yun yung
I
ano
see.
namin, nag-troubleshooting.
Okay. Okay ba ang audio ko?
Wait, I will ask my ano, okay ang audio dyan sa inyo? Sa akin kasi naka-headphone ako. Okay ang audio ni Doc Cherry?
Hello, my test. Hello.
Sa akin, Doc, ano, loud and clear naman.
Okay, that's good.
Ano, mamaya, later yung telephone, ha? Kinain kayo mag-ano. Okay lang sa'yo, Doc Che, ikaw na ang mag-ano ng iyong PowerPoint.
Oh,
Kasi
sure.
kung when ka mag-ano.
Wow, we are live on YouTube.
Just one, two. Good afternoon po na naman mga tao dyan po sa atin. Let's all welcome the first year partner.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Talaga naman kasama natin ngayon ang mga first year na naman. Hi guys, it's me again. It's your boy, Pastor Joshua. Habol na naman tayo, no? Nakilala nila ako partner nung, hindi, yung natawag ko doon. Orientation, first year orientation. Oo naman. So, parang ikaw na nakilala ka muna.
Yes, and I'm happy na ako yung partner mo ngayon.
Talaga,
Partner.
I'm blessed with many partners in life. Talaga, hindi lang nag-iisa.
Sana all. Hashtag sana all.
Pero same naman din sila ng department.
Yes.
Oo, CHTM, di ba, partner?
Yes, partner.
So partner, habang habang nag-aantay tayo pag simula yung program, why not let us ask them a poll? Okay na ba tayo dyan, Doc? Ang poll natin. Okay, so let us all wait. And here's our poll. The question is, yan. How are you, freshman? Oh, yan. Una natin, your friend calls you and wants to chat with you. Ano ba? Ignore the call, answer, ignore the call, answer and talk for an hour. Uy.
Or answer and don't talk much.
Conversations last less than 5 minutes, and lastly, answer and begin ranting about everything you hate. Ay. So parang getting to know talaga no, kung ano ba talaga mga trip nila. Diba? Kasi mga first year, tapos hindi talaga kilala.
Yes, bago pa dito sa ano natin.
Oo naman. Oh, guys, answer na guys. Don't be shy and let us answer na. Paano na guys? Nag-answer na ba kayo? Just click. Don't be shy. Let's all participate habang nag-aantay po tayo sa ating mga kasamahan dito. And also, we're waiting for the program to start. Parang wala pa nagsasagot, partner. Ayaw sumagot. Bakit ganoon?
Participate po tayo lahat.
Hello guys. Guys, ako to. Si Mimia. Joke lang. Mimia. Oh, yeah. Oh, question number 2. The sun is shining and the temperature is just right. What are you going to do today? Oh, kung nocturnal ka, ano ka ba tawag?
So first, get outside and do something great.
Watch TV, play on my phone, nothing too exciting.
The same thing I do every day,
or who knows? I'm sure someone will come along and ruin my day. Ay!
Sino? Sino
Bakit
partner?
ganon?
Bakit
Sisira yung sisira ng
day?
buhay nating araw. Mag-aantay ka lang na sirain yung buhay mo. Expected. Okay, so number 3. Choose a color. Ano ba favorite color mo guys dito? Blue?
Black.
Yes. Red and white. Parang hindi mo makita masyado yung screen partner.
Yes, I need glasses partner.
See, okay lang. Ako nabala sa'yo.
Yes.
Ako nabala sa'yo partner.
Sana all talaga partner.
So, number 4. Do you worry a lot? Multiple choice. Only the big stuff?
All of the
time? No one cares or only about myself?
Parang ang sad naman yung
Mas gusto ko yung only with the big, only the big stuff. Kasi gusto natin yung mga malalaki. Malalaki yung puso, yung pagmamahal, yung isipan. So, sunod, number 5. In your opinion, how are you feeling today?
How are you feeling today, partner?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Parang dito is pretty good. Tired and ready for the day to end. Like there's no point or pissed off. Wow. Galit ka ba? Galit ka ba, partner?
Hindi. Lagi ako masaya, partner.
So guys, don't forget to answer guys ha. Participate lang tayo kasi masaya talaga to. Para alam namin kung ano ba talagang feeling mo. We will gonna build connections with you. Like building connection with someone who's important. Diba? Sa ngayon, may mga nakafeel ko na may nakakilala na sila partner sa kanilang classmate. Baka nabibuild sila ng
Getting to know
connection.
each other na talaga, partner.
Sana all may connection. Once again, talaga, antay-antay lang po tayo. And let us know the percentage of each answer from the 5 questions. Wala pa nga background music ko na lang.
Ikaw na lang yung sumayaw, partner.
Sa naman partner, no? Ginagawa mo ko toto.
Ay, hindi naman.
Ay, hindi. Hindi mo ako gusto, di ba? Hindi mo ako pa-toto. Ano daw yung tagalog? Ha? So let us know. Okay, let's just wait for the final percentage of each answer sa dito. Number 1. Your friend calls you and wants to chat with you. Multiple choice. Ano po ba?
First place, 50%.
Wala po kami makita po. Wait up po guys. Hindi po namin makikita po dito yung parang di pa po na-post yung ating mga percentage for each ano. May chat din tayo. Okay. Nandiyan na po ba talaga? And are we good? Oops. Pwede konti. Hello? Hello? Okay. Ayun! Then! Now I can see the future. So now let us continue. Number 1, ang pinaka talagang magandang ang answer dito is 57% o pinakamarami. 57%. Answer and talk for an hour.
Sana all may time, partner.
Sana all may connection building. Second, answer and don't talk much and conversation lasts less than 5 minutes. So, depende pa naman kasi nahihiya pa. They're shy to talk. Malay natin ano sila.
The third?
And the third would be, ay the same sila. They are type, ignore the call or answer begin ranting about everything you hate. Okay. Number 2. The sun is shining and the temperature is just right. What are you going to do today? Ang pinakataas talaga is the same thing I do every day. Ano pa talaga ginagawa natin pag sunshine? Tulog? Kain? Tulog?
Kain, tulog lang talaga, partner.
Oo nga naman.
Ay, ha?
Parang nakikita ko yung resulta, partner.
Sana tumahimik na lang.
Number 2 is watch TV, play on my phone, nothing too exciting. Next is get outside and do something great. O konti lang talaga gusto lumabas din kasi bawal guys, ingat guys.
Mainit din masyado.
Mainit din eh. So dapat wear your mask pag lumabas and face shield.
shield.
And lastly, who knows? I'm sure someone will come along and ruin my day. isang tao out of 35 people lang sagot.
Parang
Bakit?
ganito everyday na.
Parang nangantay ko sino talaga. Number 3, choose a color. Multiple choice, I know. So, ang pinaka-highest talaga black. Ano meron sa black? Bakit maganda yung black ngayon? Is it because of the
I don't know.
aesthetic? Ano
Yeah.
ba? Siguro yung black shows the parang nakalimutan ko. Next na tayo guys. We have second is blue. And we have a tie with red and white. So let's go to number 4. Do you worry a lot? Saan ba talaga dito? All of the time. Bakit ang highest all of the time? Ano ba nila worry
Parang ang
natin?
daming nilang problema dito yung partner ko. They worry all the time.
Parang may iba nga dito eh. Sagot na ito. Ang next is only the big stuff. Ay,
Yun. Di ba yun yung sagot natin kanina?
yung malaki. Malaki. Tapos doon, sunod is no one cares. Pero ako bahala ako mag-care sa'yo. Joke lang. And lastly, dapat only about myself. We should also worry about ourselves.
Yes.
Love ourselves. Kailangan di talaga lahat naman tao kailangan i-worry natin. Let's all worry about ourselves for the future. And lastly, our number 5. In your opinion, partner, how are you feeling today? The highest is?
Tired and ready for the day to end. Baka tired sila sa... Pagod na sila sa ano.
Pagod na sila sa lahat.
Yeah.
Pagod din ako sa kanya.
Ah?
Di pala baliktad. Siya yung pagod sa akin. Ang susunod is pretty good. Nice. Feeling good. Like I should. Okay, tama na. TikTok pa tayo dyan, no? And lastly, we have a tie. Is like there's no point and pissed off. Sila yung nag-iisa talaga. Parang may, parang may dalang happy. Dalang
Out of
happy.
35 persons. Meron talaga yung
Isa. Talaga. So now, are we ready talaga to start our program?
Yeah.
We have our go cue. And now, let us go to our program.
Yeah.
1, 2, and lights, camera. Action. Good afternoon and welcome to the first year programmatic activity
with the theme of
Navigating College in New Normal. Kita-kita ko dito talaga sa ating script, no? Talaga. So, talaga. So, partner, what is the programmatic activity?
Yes, partner, for me, this is a student development program from the Office of Student Affairs.
But before that, partner, to formally start the program, let us all humble ourselves and feel the holy presence of God. Let us have our prayer. So while we wait, let us
you are exalted in our midst. We ask for forgiveness for every sin we have done. Have mercy on us, our Father. As we start our program today, let your guidance and protection be upon us. Send your Spirit to us and give us wisdom. We thank you for all the blessings we have received. We also thank you for the lives of the people in this place. Be glorified in everything we do. In your name we pray. Amen.
And now, ulit partner.
So again, good afternoon everyone. I am Glyzer Day Diaz.
And I'm Jose Joshua Habol, and we are your hosts
host
for
for
today.
Yes. So what is your question again, partner?
Partner, yung question ko talaga is, what is a programmatic activity?
So programmatic activity, this is a student development program from the Office of Student Affairs.
Oo nga, diba, partner? Done once per semester, the programmatic activity for first-year students is designed according to the need of the students.
Yes.
Diba?
So in the past, the programmatic activities were focused on interaction, involvement, and engagement. But this year, we are going digital, partner.
Talaga, partner, kailangan talaga yan. For the freshmen, the institution aims to make their first journey as fun and memorable as possible as they start college as a new chapter of their lives.
Yes, and this afternoon, even though we meet screen to screen, with our resource speaker, our first years may find helpful tips that will help them adjust easily to this new chapter and explore and experience an entirely different zone filled with life-changing experiences.
Yes.
Importante yan, partner.
Now, without further ado, let me welcome resource speaker.
Yes.
Our resource person this afternoon has a postgraduate certification as a student affairs and services practitioner from the University of Santo Tomas, a doctor of philosophy in nursing, and currently works as an executive director of Virtue Skill Academy. She was also our resource person during the recent leadership webinar series held last August. JPCNs, let us welcome Dr. Cherry Manuel.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Dr. Manuel, and I am happy to share important points with you, dear first year students, regarding the topic given to me, and that is navigating college in the new normal. Once again, I would like to thank St. John Paul College for this invitation through the initiative of the Office of Student Affairs. Am I loud and clear, students? Okay, so let's have first our reminders, but I know that our facilitators are helping us. First, I would like to ask you to turn on your camera if possible during the entire time of the conference so that I can see you, but if it's not possible, it's okay. Mute your microphones when not needed. Raise your hand to be acknowledged. Use the chat box appropriately, especially during activities, and send some reacts or message whenever you feel necessary, as long as it does not disrupt the discussion. Okay, so as an executive summary, first we will be having an introduction of what is the new normal in the field of education, the challenges at hand, and how we can overcome it. We will also discuss time management skills, especially for you first year college students. And the last would be social media etiquette. But before I begin with my sharing, I prepared a little game that everyone can participate. And I'm sure that you know this already. This is what we call what's in the box. So I'm pretty sure you are familiar with this. Here, I have here a box, okay? And I place an item inside this box, and whoever guesses it correctly, the first one who guesses it correctly will receive a reward of 50 pesos worth of load. I will also be giving you some clues, and whenever that you'd like to answer, please use the chat box to say your answer. Okay? Am I clear? Joshua, can I hear you? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes po.
am I loud and clear? Hello? I cannot hear you.
Net po ko. Yes po, yes po.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's start our game. What's in the box? Here. So the first clue, Joshua, can you please manage the chat box?
Sure po. Ay, ako po.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
just watch it. No problem.
First, what's inside the box? It is something that most of us use every day. It is unisex. Pwede pang babae, pang lalaki, pwede din sa mga bata, or pwede din sa adult.
O,
So
sige,
what is this?
okay, nandito na
That's
po
the
tayo.
first
Nag-chat na po
clue.
sila sa chat box.
Kung meron ng mga gustong mag-answer, you can already type in your chat box.
So, we have
Sounds
here
like
po,
this.
meron po tayong mga sagot po.
Okay, so let's go first to our second clue. Something that has number. It is something that has number.
Number po, guys. Ah.
Okay?
Baka cellphone number.
O kaya yan? Calculator? Pwede? Pwede, di ba? Oh,
Oo,
it is
ginagamit sa
not
mga bata.
soft. Something solid kasi it does make a sound. Okay? Next clue. It is something that has long hand and short hands. So I think this one is clearer. Something that has long hands or short hands. All right. And the
Oh,
last,
handa.
I'll do this very quick. It is something that we wear in our wrist. So, paunahan na lang, what's in the box? What's in the box? Okay, I'll reveal the answer. It is, Joshua, what do you
Sure.
think?
It's a watch. A wristwatch.
Okay, it's that's correct. It's
Yes.
a wristwatch.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have a winner?
Wait lang po do kasi like, ano pa talaga yung answer? Wristwatch or watch?
Yeah, it should be wristwatch.
Okay, so let me just look for here kung may ano sa taas na wristwatch. Ang first na wristwatch ko nabasa ko is from Honey Vine Pascual. Ano po, sino po ba pwede dito sa amin? Wait lang po. We're just gonna confirm if same po kami nang nakita na si
Okay.
Honey Vine Pascual.
Because I cannot read the chat box.
I see po, don't worry. The first one to send the answer was Honey Vine Pascual.
Okay, congratulations, Miss Pascual. You will receive
Ay, wait
your
lang po.
prize
Wait lang po.
later.
We're just gonna ano po. Ay, we have here. Siya po yung ano. Is it Jude? Okay. It's Vince RV Bencho.
Okay.
Wristwatch.
Okay, so later, just give me the details of the name and the number of our winner. Okay, students, congratulations. So, with a little icebreaker, I think we can already start. Okay, so are you ready? So, what do schools look like under the new normal? So, it was about May May this year that it was published in PNA Grant Thornton, and it was said that more than 1.5 billion students and young learners globally are affected by school and university closures due to the coronavirus pandemic. So if you can remember, if I'm not mistaken, it was March 12 or March 12 to 14 that it was declared that we will be under ECQ. Some of the schools were not yet able to have their final examinations, right? And several were not yet able to have their graduation exercises. So perhaps in your school, it was also the scenario. During that time, schools have remained closed for weeks. We were just staying at home. We were told to stay at home, and no one knows for certain when will we come out of the lockdown. And as the pandemic shows no sign of slowing down anytime soon during that time. But right now, it was already declared that we are already flattening the curve, but yet our numbers are still increasing. So, specifically in the Philippines, the COVID 19 crisis has affected about 27 million learners, 1 million teachers and non teaching staff, and as well as the families of learners. So it's not only the students no, who had been affected, but as well as the teachers, the teaching, and the non-teaching staff. So in fact, it was reported by the Department of Labor and Employment that there has been quite a number of displaced workers because of the quarantine or the lockdown that was imposed because of COVID-19. So the disruption caused by COVID-19 has forced us to adapt to online learning in schools. The Department of Education previously announced that classes for school year 2020-2021 would begin on August 24. Classes may start earlier, but there would be no physical return to school. DepEd is offering schools choices of alternative learning methods that includes, as I've mentioned, online learning and offline methods, such as take home readings and activities. But as what you have heard also in the news, in the television, that there had been opposing opinions on this on different sectors, right? So even within our very own government unit, thus moving the opening of class for public schools this October 5. But of course, with the approval of DepEd and CHED, classes in private schools had long been started even as early as mid-July. So, in your school, in your case, you had already started with the approval of Commission on Higher Education. The disruption caused by COVID-19, as I've mentioned, forced the adoption of online learning in schools. But who were affected? Only the students? Kamo lang ba students ang affected? No. Teacher training is a major consideration that would require schools to readjust their budget allocation in order to respond to this emerging need. So primarily, our very own teachers, the administrations are very much affected with this transition. Online teaching involves a lot of preparation. I'm not sure, dear students, if you got the chance to talk with your teachers or they heard stories about module and materials preparation. But I tell you, online teaching involves really a lot of preparation. And teachers find themselves having to use tools they are not familiar with. 'Di ba? In Facebook, We can see right now na ay mga trending na mga ano na 70 plus or retirable teachers who are not really used in using technology as a means of teaching, but because of their passion to teach, so they have no choice but to embrace it. So because of this disruption, all of us, you, your school, your administration, your teachers, was left with no choice but to adapt to it. And that is the reason that we are here right now. Under normal circumstances, I think that you would be in your gymnasium or in your conference hall for this activity. But right now, where are we? Instead of gathering in your gymnasium, we are having a meeting. We are having a date online. I am sharing with you online. So, over the past decade, especially in the more advanced countries, online education has emerged as an innovative teaching and learning method. Actually, uh, in a more advanced country, it is not only this year that they have online teaching. Na even 10 years ago, they have already embarked into online teaching and considered it as an innovative teaching and learning methods. Learning or learners of all ages use this method. Actually, children in China, when they are taught English, even as early as 2 years old, they can already have online sessions. And that is what they call ESL, English as a student, as a secondary language learning. And they do it online because even if they are in China, they will hire teachers coming here in the Philippines. So that's for children. And they are already in online teaching. But the same goes with adults, from working adults who want to continue their studies, already professionals who wants to upgrade themselves professionally and academically. A lot already are offered to them even before. So for these adults who would like to continue their studies while on job, or parents enrolling their kids to help them learn new things, so they are already in online teaching. The same is true for those who cannot continue their studies due to medical condition or disabilities. Okay? Or even mga actors and actresses, or those who have medical disabilities, children who are into homeschooling. Online teaching is not anymore new to them. Today, such learners can continue their education with a range of distance learning options, and that is because of COVID 19. Let us be confident that this online teaching, countless research devoted to the benefits of online teaching. And several authors had mentioned in their study that online learning is as good as face to face classroom learning. Before, we are very much apprehensive because this is something that is new to us, right? So, wala nato dayon siya na embrace. Murag nagduha-duha pata, kaya naabay daghang factor sa laun saon na ni wala koy inani, wala koy inani. But by research, it has already been proven that online learning is as good as face to face classroom learning when maximized properly. And according to several authors, the advantage of online learning, as they mentioned, includes flexibility, even self paced learning, and accordingly, quote unquote, lower cost. Also, it improved virtual communication and collaboration, better time management, and very timely because later we will be discussing time management, refined critical thinking skills, and new technical skills. But of course, for our setup, that is still remains to be proven as true, right? So, how many days or how many months pa lang man tayo nag-start into online teaching? Something that is new, something that is change, that requires change, um, hinay-hinay ang ato ang pag-adapt ug ang pag-embrace. But as I've mentioned kaganina, because of the current situation that we have, we were left with no choice but to adapt to it. Because as what DepEd said, education must continue. So on my screen here, you can read two types of or two categories of online teaching, and that is synchronous online teaching and asynchronous online teaching. So I don't know what you are doing. It could be synchronous, asynchronous, or a combination of both. But these are terms that are being adapted now, no, because we are already using online teaching as a means of having our classes. So when we say synchronous online teaching, it allows students and instructors to be online at the same time, while asynchronous online teaching allows students to participate in activities whenever you chooses. So whenever the student chooses. Okay, next. So we are experiencing classes being conducted through web video conferencing. And not only that, schools really have to spend money in order to come up with learning management system with the use of Google Classroom, Blackboard Learn, and Canvas. So these are the most common platforms that are used for learning management system to enable you, dear students, to complete your assignments, deliver your presentations, take assessments, and receive immediate feedback from your teachers. And we have also what we call the flipped classroom. Okay, so aside from this video conferencing, meron tayong tinatawag na flipped classroom, which is also related to synchronous and asynchronous type of online teaching. Before, di ba, we are used to attending our classes in the classroom, then the teachers will have lectures and discussion, and then we will be given assignment. So that is the traditional approach and traditional classroom. Right now, it could be a flipped classroom. Through your learning management system, your teachers may give you assignments in advance, and during your classes or during your conferences, you will just discuss it and share it with the group. So primarily, there is also a shift of the role of the teacher. The teacher does not anymore command the flow of the class, but now the teacher becomes the facilitator of the class or the facilitator of the session. So perhaps this is just a review that there are several online or conference platforms that are being used. So right now we are using Zoom, some others are using Google Meet, some others are using Microsoft Teams. So it really depends on your school if what is more effective and convenient for both the school, the teachers, and the students. Okay, so the typical classroom, lecture, and homework are being reversed. Now, another effect or another new normal in the college during this COVID-19 is that our library before, when we need to read something, We need to go to the library, borrow some books, and then read. So, printed materials, usually ang ato ang ginapangita, especially if there are reportings, okay? But right now, na-open, ang naanatay use of open textbooks. So, nag-expand ang atuang mga resources nga pwede nato gamiton. No? COVID-19 crisis forcing schools into online instruction. Some others were forced to adapt to open educational resources as an inexpensive alternative to traditional textbooks. Over the years, many educational materials have been developed and made freely available. So much more ang need karon that for the schools to have freely available learning materials in different form. Okay, so that is another effect. First is that we engage into online teaching, and second is that the use of open textbooks and of course different social media platforms. So I believe that your school, you have your own learning system. Okay, so just a review, the top social media platform, we have Facebook, of course, as the number one. We use group chats in Messenger, especially for our organizations and clubs. And right now, as we are doing our Zoom meeting, we are having a live streaming via YouTube. We also convey information using Instagram. We also express opinions through Twitter or convey information, and also TikTok. So even if primarily TikTok is for entertainment, but we can also use it educationally. So it depends on the purpose, whether we would like to inform, whether we would like to inspire, or whether we would like to engage with our friends or with our schoolmates or batchmates. So, just a percentage, because of COVID 19, there had been an increase in online and digital usage. And if we look at the number, we will see that there is an increase of 54% on shows or films or on streaming services. And there is an increase of 35% spending more time in computer or video games. And there is an increase of 42% spending longer messenger services. Okay? So far, are you following? Am I too fast? Okay. So next, let's go to this. So another effect is blended learning and flipped classroom. So a while ago, I already gave you an, an idea or definition of what flipped classroom is. So aside from online teaching as a new part of our language, we have already been using also blended learning and flipped classrooms. So some schools also start combining blended learning with a flipped classroom approach. So when we say blended learning, it means a combination of two or more methods, no, or modalities of sharing information and interacting. So it's not only purely online, but it could be a combination of online and face to face, or a combination of online and modular, or it could be through the use of different modes like in a radio or television. But from what I know, most several private schools they opted for they wanted to for their students to choose whether the students will choose online teaching or the students will choose modular or the students will choose a combination of both. So depends of course in the environment of the students. Okay. So COVID-19 crisis presents really an opportunity for the education sector to come together. So, 'di ba, ang mga Filipinos, we really look into the positive side no in everything. So, despite the crisis that we are presented with, we kita resilient gihapon ta. We take it as an opportunity, especially for the education sector to come together, forge connections, and share what works. So for sure, your administrators, your heads, your dean of colleges had come together and really brainstorm on what will work best for you. We may not have seen this before because this is the first time that we have experienced this. But if we will not jump into the boat, we are missing a greater opportunity if we do not do this now. So several had been calling for academic freeze. But again, always ang statement sa atong mga academician is that education must continue. But of course, with all of this positive side, there are really challenges, now, especially that this thing is not new to us. Now, as I've mentioned, we have not seen this before. We have not experienced this crisis before. So nothing will come easy, especially for us. So there are a lot of challenges that had been encountered and still encountering. So, as I summarize them, we have challenges in terms of online resources, offline resources, school readiness, and parents' involvement. No, the biggest challenge really for schools transitioning to online learning is the widening of inequality of access and usage of information and communication technology. So there is this problem na paano na yung mga students na walang internet access? How are you coping? Paano na yung mga students who don't have the necessary tools, the gadget and devices that they need for this online teaching? Siguro several of you right now maka-experience of mga disruptions because of the poor internet connection. And paano na yung mga students and teachers as well who are not really good in terms of their ICT skills. So primarily, that is the first big challenge according to our researchers. Second is challenges in the offline resources, materials, and your readiness to be in college in this new normal. Historical kaayo, di ba? Kay sa inyo hagyud na tunong. In this school year 2020-2021, you are the first batch sa ginatawag nga new normal. So going back to the materials, kaganina na-mention na ako na nakaistorya ba mo sa inyong mga teachers? Nakaistorya ba mo sa inyong mga facilitators? Have they heard also of their predicament? That they are bombarded with a lot of activities because it is not easy to prepare, I tell you, all of these learning materials in a short span of time. Dili gyud dali. Both public and private school setting. No one is spared. Kailangan jud. Even if you will just make simply your PowerPoint presentation, it will take time. And ang mga resources mo, good thing na lang that one effect na na-mention ako ganina is the open textbook. Okay? Resources are readily available but still, dili siya in anak ka dali. Advancement in information technology and in fact is it is deepening the division between the educational haves and have-nots. Okay, so there are mga stories that we can see sa news or in the Facebook na ang uban remember ba mo ato that it was televised na mga DepEd teachers somewhere in Mako, I think, na nagkaroon sila og webinar na nag-tent lang gyud sila, luoy kay sila dito, nagdasok sila dito sila sa bukid. Kay sa ilahang area dito lang ang naay kusog na signal. Just for them na maka-acquire sila sa gi-require na knowledge and skills for this blended learning or online teaching. The same goes with students. Kanang magklase gani nga mawala ta kay mahud na tag-load, makarelate ta, or kanang loading. Sige na lang ta og hello, hello, can you hear me? So at the end of the day, you are just physically present pero wala joy learning experience because of the poor internet connection and also mindset natin, lack of materials and students readiness. How ready are we as students? At first ba na-embrace ba nato dayon na this is it, mao na gyud ni ang student normal or ang new normal? Or at the back of your mind or even inyong parents, iingnan pud mo na undang na lang sa uy. Isa naman siguro ni katuig, next year na lang. So dili jud lalim. No, these are real life challenges that we are experiencing in the new normal in your college life. So to bridge down this digital divide, efforts must be devoted to develop long distance and offline multimedia teaching modes. Pero another challenge na po dira is the school readiness. Okay? Because of the strict requirement of physical distancing and sanitation. Kana lang daan that when you enter the school, it's not anymore the same. Na yung mga pa-temperature check, kinahanglan naka-mask, kinahanglan naka-face shield, and ang ato ang mga offices na ay mga barriers, it's not easy to prepare. And ang routinary sanitation. Because everyone is exposed. We do not know who are these carriers. So, big challenge also in terms of school readiness. And the last, parents' involvement. Have you heard of katong statements gani that mingon ang mga parents, especially those into modular, na mingon ang mga parents nga ako ang mutudlo, tunga na lang ta og sweldo, ma'am. No? So, these are mga common sentiments of also of our parents because they also are having difficulty. Do they have the time to teach? Are they ready to teach? Nga ang uban na naman na sila ilahang mga own activities sa balay palang daan, masig housewife atong mama, masig nalang sa balay atong papa, daghan kaayo man tag trabaho sa balay, di ba? And wala nila na-appeal previously sa ilang activities to do the teaching for their sons and daughters. And thirdly, really, the most difficult is the capacity to teach. Because not all parents, we have to accept it that not all parents really have the capacity to teach. For example, sa inyong case, college, okay, although you are into online teaching, I believe you are into online teaching or blended learning. But really, because we spend more time at home, we will really ask help from our parents. Now, what if mga mathematics, algebra, or science, no, na medyo lisod jud sa ilaha. So, do they have the capacity to teach? So, these are the challenges no that we face in this new normal. So, mo gani ilang ingon, dear students, na magsinabtanay ta because all sectors really are having difficulty. Pero as Filipinos, as I've mentioned, in the midst of crisis, we will really see opportunity and we maintain positive. That is why we do our best in order to continue with what we aspire for, especially in the field of education. So, with all of these challenges, how can we hurdle? So, sa new normal nato sa ato ang college life, what should be of importance? Basta makasulod lang og klase. Ang importante nga na ako'y pangpaload para makasulod ko og klase. Enough na ba na siya? Is that our key in order to be successful in this new normal? So, I will just share to you three keys to education in the new normal. First is experience. Experience, maximizing our experience. As it is said, the classroom's built environment is specifically designed to facilitate learning. So before in our classroom setting, we are very much used to having the traditional classroom or traditional teaching. The teacher commands, the teacher lectures, and the students interact. Okay? But in this new normal, what is key is all of us, students and teachers, should have this facilitating learning experience. Kaya nga, if you remember the result of research ng mga authors on the effectivity of online teaching, they mentioned that online teaching is flexible, online teaching is self-paced, online teaching is collaborative, and it improves communication because the new experience is not anymore controlled by the teacher, but everyone must embark into facilitating learning. Of course, the scenario is still there is a presence of a licensed professional, your teacher, to teach according to their subject matter or their subject of expertise or specialization. But now, not only the relationship does not only belong to the teacher and the students, but nisulod na ang atuang guardians. And these three agents must work together. So this educational system, we will have a unique experience. And that is the culture of facilitating learning. So hopefully, in our classroom experience, wala na yung teacher controlled or teacher manipulated type of traditional teaching. Because as mentioned, we are into facilitating learning. So the teacher acts as a facilitator or vice versa. And it is not only between the teacher and the students, but as well as the help of your parents and your guardian. Kaya ganina, di ba, nakita siya nga opportunity for education sector or education people to come together to really find out what is best for everyone, especially for you first year college students, because this would be this is part of the transitioning of your life. Hindi dili naman mo high school, and high school is far different from being a college, because being a college there is an expectation of a certain level of maturity, especially meron na tayong senior high school, 'di ba? So mostly college, mga first year college na nasa 18 or above, 17, 18 or above. So there is a a certain level of maturity that is expected from you. So you have really the capacity already for this collaborative type of learning. Okay? So that is the first key, experience. Experience facilitating learning. Second key for us to hurdle this new normal is knowledge. Okay, knowledge, as stated there, knowledge is not static, it is a continuous process. The best teachers do not simply just read out what is in the textbook, but let the students replicate the process of learning. So, ihatag lang ang foundation or theories of education, and then let the students, with the help of the guardian, experience it at home. Like what? But in your case, since you are already college, so you can do it independently. But wala man po'y magbawal sa atuan na we can ask help from our parents because we are just at home. It's a good thing that we have someone na makaas taog opinion and makaas taog help. That is for our support system. And having a support system it makes it easy for us to cope this new scenario now that we are embracing. So simple lang diha sa binata their students for example in elementary pag mag-discuss og photosynthesis so pwede siya magtanom or magplanting, di ba? So aside from getting the knowledge for that, the teacher will give the theory, the fundamental theories of education, but the student had the actual experience in your homes. And that is how knowledge will come to you. And you will not only apply this knowledge according to the example that has been given to you by your facilitator, but you can apply this knowledge in your specific home environment because your home now is your new classroom. So do not waste time. As you receive this knowledge, ato ang siyang i-relate kaganina sa experience. As you receive this knowledge, put that into a complete experience. Practice. Replicate what is being taught or what is being taught in the theory so that you will have the complete process of learning. Okay? So I hope it's clear. And lastly is the skill. So first we have the experience, then knowledge, and then skill. So unsa man ang skill that is required from us? So it is said that modern technology enabled communication is at the forefront of distance learning. Of course, we need to have our gadget. We need to know how to enter sessions, how we should have our own account, how to enter classes using our own Google account. So it's a skill. It's a modern technology enabled communication skill. But you know what? Despite technological advancements, the difficulties and limitations posed by technology are really challenges that each one of us faces. However, dear students, they should not prevent or discourage you, okay, to learn. If every teacher has to try, then every student has to try as well. And that is the only way that you can complete your process of learning and you will maximize your college life in this new normal. Otherwise, if you will not give it a try, if you will not give your best, you, as well as your teachers, will lose your relevance in this digital age. You will lose your opportunity because no one knows what lies ahead. Kay dili man ta, we cannot just say that this online teaching, blended learning, facilitating learning, flipped classrooms are only in this time of crisis. We do not know that this so-called new normal is already the normal in the future. Because as I have mentioned, in other countries, even without this pandemic, they are already into online teaching. They are already into blended learning. They know very well what a flipped classroom is. So, dili pwede that we will just say, ugma na lang ko or sunod tuig na lang ko kay dili makaya. No? Kay wala ta kabalo. 2021, 2022, mao na gyud di ay siya ang ato ang modality of learning. It will already be part of the option for students to take. Dili na di ay tanan mag face to face. But as you enroll, naanay mga option na pwede ka mag blended learning. So we do not really know. So kung dili nimo ni siya i-take na opportunity, you will lose your relevance. So ang challenge di ay ato dito sa atua is every student has to try. So sa ato apang linggo, di ba, moingon tag laban lang ta ani. Lisud man, but Filipinos are very much resilient. More so kamo mga St. John Paul College students are just being here and listening to me right now and attending this session. That only shows that you are trying. Maski nagkapilit-pilit mo dira ang choppy core, dili kay niyo makita, but you are trying. One way or another, even as simple as a single phrase or one picture na nakita sa inyong presentation, sa akong presentation, is still part of your learning. Okay, let us come together that education must continue. Okay, so with that, since we are in skill, one skill that we should learn and master, especially for you students, is the time management skill. Okay, time management is a skill that you have to master. As reflected on screen, COVID-19 pandemic has shifted the way we manage our personal and academic lives. Very true. Because before, pag alarm, wake up ta, you go to the bathroom, maligo, mag-uniform, magkaon, adto na sa school. But right now, the scenario is different. You are doing all these things, mag-prepare ka, pero naa ka sulod sa imuhang balay. So, it has really changes our personal and academic lives. And being able to accommodate to these changes will ensure that you can maintain effective time management skills. So for the first few weeks of COVID-19 public health crisis, most of us had to embrace a take this day by day mentality. So mo na gyud na, no, take this day by day mentality. Hala ugma unsa na pud kaya, hala ugma kanusa pa man mag-announce among school sa among graduation. Daghan kaayo ta og concern. Every day we have a lot of concern until such time sige na lang tagpaabot what will be our status, ECQ bata, GCQ, MECQ, until nga naa na ta sa MGCQ. While kanato ang attitude na taking this day by day mentality, kana siya na approach is unavoidable kay wala man tay laing mabuhat during that time because everything is uncertain for us. But mao na gyud ni ang right time for you na mag-move forward. It is imperative that we plan our educational and academic lives ahead of us. Naamay mga changes. Yes, we have experienced changes, but this should not stop us to plan and to manage properly our academic lives onwards. So, sa inyo ha, I think I don't know how many attended, 100 plus or more or less, but congratulations because being here is part of your plan, I believe. no, of continuing your academic life. And not only that, okay, the goal is not only to start, but for us really to successfully finish. No matter what kind of setup ang i-offer sa atua, just for us to adapt in as much as possible. So look at what's coming up. Look ahead. What's coming up for you. So, decide. Sakay ba ko sa boat kung asa ni padulong ang mga estudyante sa St. John Paul II nagpadayo nagyud. Nagsakay na sa isa ka barko. Should I join them or should I allow myself to be left behind? So, put that in your mind. And for this, for effective time management skills, I will be giving you two tips. Two tips for you to easily remember. But of course, why do we need this? Why do we need time management? And time management, so as education, is a process of planning and exercising conscious control. And it's not only it's not enough to just say that we work hard, but we should work smart. So that is my mantra. In my life, sabi ko, I will not work hard, but I should work smart. Ibig sabihin, one day at a time, there is a goal at hand. Okay, there is a goal at hand, looking ahead in the future. Because you can just pass the time, daghan ka kagitrabaho, gikapoy ka, pero wala kay na-achieve. But if you work smart, ang imuhang time and effort na translate into output or outcome. That is how you work smart. So two things for us to work smart as part of our time management skills. And number one, and you will never go wrong, is for you to plan ahead as much as you can. As I've mentioned, look what's coming up and figure out a plan that accommodates how the pandemic has changed you, your life as a student. Don't schedule anything if you know that you have a class. So make it a habit to have a calendar of activities. Kanang mga calendar of activities, that's not only for offices, but we can also use that personally. And it is very much effective. Diba? Kasagaran sa tua, we have a cell phone. You can make use of your cell phone to have calendar para nga mo alarm so that you will be reminded kung unsa ang inyong klase, what are the deadlines, unsa ang mga activities, so that you will not schedule anything that will disrupt your plan. Okay, plan short term or long term depending on your need. Okay, create a schedule that aligns with your academic life. So, yung tip ko sa inyo ha, in planning ahead, college students, your participants, you can practice to make use of your monthly calendar. You plot already your activities, your classes, your deadlines, assignments, or projects, and put it in alarm so that you will be reminded of those deadlines. But if wala tayong calendar sa cellphone, but I believe most meron. So you can just make use of the tradition, yung paper, printed na calendar, and isulat. Okay, write all your schedule ahead so that you will not forget. Okay, then the second tip is that beat procrastination. Our unya na habit nato ay unya na lang, daghan pa man og time, ay next week pa man to, unya na lang. So ang ending, asa sige na tog unya na, it is already the deadline, it is already the schedule, so you had already panic, you have already cramming, ang ending you were very stressful, so wala na nimo na enjoy ang imuhang, you are not anymore already able to enjoy your learning experience. Mas gwapo man nang atenta sa klase, mo presenta og report, mo share ta sa atong idea that we come prepared. So, aside from planning, beat procrastination. And how can we do that? Okay, how can we beat procrastination? I'll share with you 8 tips. Okay, first, the topmost, eliminate distractions. So, surely it's more fun nga moadto sa balay sa inyong classmates for group session, group discussion, group study. Okay, mo na usually ang ato ang kinabot. Although karon is limited na, 'di ba? Kay we avoid contact or exposure to other people. But dili gyud malikayan, there are still others na naapoy mga group chats na mag Google Meet or mag video conferencing together with the classmates. But according to authors, if we do that, we're just trying to fool ourselves. Kay mas daghan pa man ang chika nga mahitabo kumpara sa mag-study. I don't know if that is true with you, but it might be true to other people. So, when you also meet with your classmates, you will also be very focused with their own progress and not your own progress. Okay? And during classes, how do we eliminate distraction? Position yourself in a place or in a room na walay magdisturbo. Okay? Less noise, less disturbance. Kaya himo na siyang mga meme nga during classes or during conferences, nag-attend ka sa imong video class, na ay nikalit og syagit, nisulod imong manghod, kung kinsa man ang nisulod din ha, kina-blooper ta. So, that has become a distraction. So, gitawag ka, sa kinsa man ang nitawag sa imo ha. So, wala na nimo nabuhat ang imuhang activity. So, that's the first, eliminate distraction. Study your environment and know yourself. Kung unsa man tong mga things that can easily get you distracted, then avoid that. Second is that use your strongest sensation to memorize things. As has always been taught to us that each student has a different and own learning style. Some others are visual, some others are kinesthetic, some others are auditory. So analyze yourself. What what is your own learning style, and in what method you learn best. So for example, if you are auditory, you are not visual, so it can help you to record lectures and listen to them over and over again, because that is your strong point. Okay, uh, you are an auditory type of learner. But if you are a kinesthetic type of learner, so every theory that you receive, you put that into action, you perform it, because you have more recall in doing things rather than just simply listening or reading. But if you are a visual type of learning, you have to have your own learning materials where you can read and you can understand on your own. So probably you can do self-paced learning. So again, know yourself in which style you learn best. Okay? And third tip is set yourself a deadline. So this one I have already mentioned. uh, ang atuag yung problema pirmi is that when we give ourselves very long time to accomplish something. So dira mo sulod ang procrastination, kanang unya na, bahala na, unya na lang at taas pa ang time. So if you know already that that will happen, then don't give yourself a lot of time to prepare something. Ika nga, whatever you can do today, do not do it tomorrow. Set yourself a deadline and set a less time for you to be able to focus on what you should do. Okay? Next, work when you feel most alert and efficient. So, I don't know if you can relate that sometimes minta nga, ay mag-study ko sa gabi eh. Okay, I will study at night. Then after, in the nighttime, at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you're already very sleepy. So, ingon na ka nga, ay, mamata na lang ko og sayo sa buntag. Maingon lang ko og daghang kape. Okay? So, that is what we usually do. But most often than not, ang mahitabo, ang ending is wala ta naka-study, we're not able to accomplish our activity. So as one author said, ngun siya, don't torture yourself. Listen to your body clock. If you feel best to study in this certain of hour, do not miss that hour. Do not schedule for another time because you know very well that it will not anymore work. Kung mas makastudy ka sa gabi, then ayaw ipagpaliban because you will just reschedule yourself that you will study at 4 a.m. because that is not what your body clock is telling you. So whatever your body clock is saying, work on that time because that is the time that you are most alert and efficient. Next is that don't stress too much, which is also connected with the next one, eat healthy and exercise. Sometimes whenever we are faced with difficulty, it is very common that we feel anxious. Nang naatay unknown fear, nakulbaan ta na wala ta kabalo kung unsa atong gikakulbaan. And because of this anxiety, we will become demotivated. We overthink. So don't stress yourself too much. Do not overthink. Assess yourself in which areas you are good at. Look at the scenario. Unsa man ang imong gikaproblemahan, na? Look at the pros and the cons. What are the advantages if I can do this? And what are the disadvantages if I cannot do this? So if you are afraid of the disadvantages, then work it out. But make sure that you work according to your limits so that you will not stress out. And one thing that will help you is, of course, to eat healthy and to do exercise. Dapat hindi yan mapabayaan ang ating energy level. Of course, as they said, ay, stress kaayo ko, magsige taog. We eat a lot. We eat a lot of sugary foods and junk foods. Little that we know that these things will not help us because it will lower our energy level. So kung nakapansin mo, sa sige mo og kaon, sa kabusog ninyo, katulugon na mo after. No, because that is how it is. The more we eat sugary drinks, and the more we drink sugary drinks and eat junk food, the lesser energy that we have. So avoid those foods. Instead, go to healthy food, fish, nuts. Effective good inang magkaon-kaon tagmani para mas maka-memorize. So there is something in it. So know your body. Next is that get inspired and save time by asking for help. So kaganina, if you can remember, as I've said, it is not anymore a relationship between the student and the teacher, but we have our parents in the big picture. But if not your parents, your classmates. If your classmate has recorded the session, then ask your classmate to help you out so that you'll be inspired and you can save time, and then also you you improve in your own way. In this way, you will not bombard your facilitators questions. Ayo in town pag message sa inyong teacher kadlawng dako because they too have to rest. We have to respect their lecture time. Pag if it's time for class, then it's time for class. If it's time for them to rest, then let them rest. As much as possible, we can ask help from from your classmates or even from your parents. And lastly, for us to beat procrastination is motivation is the key. No external motivation can help us if we are not internally motivated. Okay? So kita daw, as an author said, human beings are usually capable of what much more we can imagine. So we can do things beyond imaginable. That is how beautiful we are created as human beings. So do not doubt yourself. Just try and you'll be surprised what you are able to do because of your knowledge, because of your skills, with your right attitude, and the support system that you have. Okay, so that's it for time management skills. Plan ahead and beat procrastination with these 8 tips. Eliminate distractions. Use your strongest sensation to memorize things. Set yourself deadlines. Work when you feel most alert and efficient. Don't stress too much. Eat healthy and exercise. Get inspired and save time by asking for help. And lastly, is motivation is the key. Okay. So um, before we go to our last topic, we will have first an activity just like a little bit of an icebreaker. So I cannot see you, I cannot see everyone on screen, but I believe that the host can see you on screen, so they can see or take a picture of this activity. So the activity is called Would You Rather. I'm pretty sure that you know this one and you are familiar with this one. So I'll be giving you 2 options. If you prefer option 1, you'll just point your index finger up. If you prefer option 2, you do number 2. Okay, so dapat makita natin sa screen that you are participating either option 1 or option 2.
Look,
Okay?
meron po akong suggestion. We
Okay
have
po.
a poll in the Zoom so we could, para po mas, ano po, para mas dali po sa kanila. They could just choose here in our poll here sa, ano po, sa chat box po. We could
Come
apply.
again?
Meron po kaming poll po dito na option. You could mapop up po sa kanilang screen. They could choose the, ano, 2 options. Okay lang
Can
po.
you can you facilitate that, yung poll?
Yes po, yes, we could.
Okay.
What is the question again, Doc? Can you repeat po?
Pero mas makita nyo ba ang mga students on screen?
No po, we couldn't.
Ah, okay. So I can only see also the both of you.
Handsome and
Kasi
beautiful.
it will not work if ano lang, na poll lang. This is mas maganda kasi if we can capture them doing the sign.
See, but
Okay, so since we cannot see the participants, so we might as well skip this one.
okay po, okay.
Okay, so okay lang ba?
Yes, sir, no problem.
Okay, so we will now proceed with the last and this one. So this is how it works. So it will be giving you option. Would you rather? So if you choose McDo, you do one or choose. So mas maganda tingnan kung sabay-sabay nagado ng hand gesture. But anyway, since we cannot do that, no problem. We will just, ito, class o no class, host. Of course. ah, you wanna be loved? You want to love or be loved? Both. Okay.
Kami na lang maglala.
So, so you're enjoying, 'di ba? So mas enjoy sana if everyone can participate. But anyway, so we will go to our last topic, and that is social media etiquette. And as I have shared with the student leaders in our previous webinar, that social media etiquette, or coined as netiquette, it is a combination of the words network and etiquette, and is defined as a set of rules for acceptable online behavior. So while because we engage ourselves online, we are using the term netiquette, short for network and etiquette. So to begin with, there is one rule of thumb that I would like you to remember, dear students, and that is to adhere to the same standards of behavior online that you follow in real life. So, whatever values, whatever type of discipline that are required from us in a face to face scenario is the same in our online life, in the new normal. Whatever rules that are being applied in your classroom are the same rules in your face to face classroom, are the same rule that is being applied in our online classroom. So don't forget that rule of thumb. Adhere to the same standards of behavior online that you follow in real life. If you are taught to respect, then in online relationship, respect must be in place. So with this, I would like to leave you with these core values as college students. So, first core value is remember the human. Remember that in your activity, in your online relationship, you are all human beings. Okay? You are not dealing with animals, but you are dealing with human beings. You are dealing with your teachers, who is adult, and you are dealing with your classmates, is who are the same age with you, but still the same respect is being required. When you say something, remember that you are speaking to a human person, and that human person has a heart that can be hurt with your words, that can be hurt by your behavior. So always bear in mind that in your online relationship, remember the human, and you will be successful for sure. Second is that share expert knowledge. As what is being said, Gani, always atua, if you have nothing good to say, then don't say it. But if that idea or if that opinion can trigger also good ideas and good opinions, then share it. Because that is where learning will take place. Diba? Flipped classroom na tayo. Diba? We are into facilitating learning. So it's very much important for you to share things that you know and things that you experience. I believe that from each one of us, we will really learn something that we because we come from different environments, we have different experiences. So our own experience, we can share that to others so that they will also learn from us. And if we connect it to remember to human, if they will also share expert knowledge, then we will also learn from them, from their human experiences. So that's the second. Third, of course, basic requirement, make yourself look good online, because this also show proper decorum and discipline. It is a reflection of how we are being taught online and in school. Remember that as first year college students, you are being molded to become professionals in the future. So look ahead what you would want to be in the future. So you want to be professional. So karon pa lang daan, act as one. And one thing that you can do is, of course, make yourself look good online. That is why gani ang mga elementary students, di ba? Or I'm not sure with the requirement of your school sa inyo, ha, but during online classes, the students are still required not to wear uniform because that is part of discipline, and it has always already been part of educational culture. Okay, ang amo amang yung ano ana we always posit na mga OSA directors na we are training you to become professionals someday. Okay, fourth, respect other people's privacy. So, loud and clear ang nakabutang dira sa image ang text that says, "My privacy is not for your entertainment. Live your life and stay out of mine." So, especially in mga subjects na kanang mo come out ang ato ang vulnerability. There might be cases that your classmates will be sharing something no that should be kept private. Then do not publish that to other people or worse online because that is not your story to tell. Respect each one's privacy so as not to embarrass and so as not to humiliate anyone. And still, we can connect it with number one, respect the human. The human has a heart that gets hurt whenever you will do something that is not beneficial for them. Much so if you embarrass them. And next, be forgiving of other people's mistakes. Remember that not all of us have the same experience and not all of us has the same level of knowledge acquired. Okay, so especially in technology or perhaps in grammar. So do not laugh, do not humiliate that someone, whether it's your classmate or it's your teacher. Be forgiving of other people's mistakes. Instead, be part of their learning. Correct someone tactfully but privately. Okay? Do not do it publicly that will humiliate the person. Pag may makita ka that you know na, ay mali man to yan. So, you can approach that person in a nice way, privately, not publicly. And last is that in a social world, we can post anything. So this is what I would like to leave you that before you post something, think. So T, think if it is true. Kana ba nga statement na mong gusto i-post? Is it true? Is it hurtful? Is it illegal or is it legal? Is it necessary or is it kind? Think of all the answers to these questions before you post something. Let us be responsible enough as college students. And with that note, I would like to thank you for listening to me this afternoon. And once again, thank you, Office of Student Affairs, for inviting me to share my insights and knowledge on this topic, the new normal in the college life, especially for your students, St. John Paul College. Thank you once again and congratulations in your activity.
Thank you po. Once again, thank you po talaga po from Dr. Cherry Manuel for the information and knowledge that you have brought to us about the new normal in now para po talaga sa ating first year first year students and partner.
I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Executive Vice President, Dr. April B. Evangelista. Hello po, Doc. Welcome to our
Welcome po the first year
Yes,
programmatic
programmatic
activity in a virtual way. Diba?
Yes.
So, to sum up now, we will have a what call this? To energize us, the pressure, to energize us, to entertain us muna.
Yes.
Let us all
Well,
let us all watch, let us focus our eyes on the screen
uh,
to welcome,
to welcome our very own and world class performer, our very own Sinintala Dance Company.
Pride and our very own Sinintala Dance Company.
May pabidal. Ayun ko guess ay nizalan.
And where you go? Looking like a disco, in that drop guitar. Blowing gas at the bar. Fresh vanilla smooth like the honey in wine. And I sneak up from behind. What's your name? What's your sign? You on the dock in the fly. Baby, you wanna at least break a buy up. That money keep blowing, so I show you tip-tongue. Got your left cheek showing my tip. Bring that body my way. Take it off my bread. Like you do, baby. Hold tight, baby.
What an amazing performance by our very own world-class performers, mga Sintala Dance Company. Iba talaga ka ng movements and energy. Parang I feel the vibes talaga ngayon, no? Diba, partner? So, partner, let us all know, if meron pa talagang questions yung mga participants natin.
And clarifications po. Ngayon na yung best time para magtanong sila partner sa
Opo, sa chat box natin. And while waiting po, partner, talagang iba talaga yung new normal ngayon.
Yes.
Kailangan natin maging
Nag-a-adjust lahat.
Nag-a-adjust
Yes,
lahat
from face
to face
to virtual
talaga.
Yes.
Iba talaga yung impact talaga ng COVID
Yes,
natin.
partner. Lalo na dun sa mga estudyante na kailangan pang umuwi dun sa malalayong lugar.
Sa probinsya nila
Yes,
talaga.
sa
Sa mga
probinsya.
bukid, kailangan pala maghanap ng signal para lang makasali sa
Everyone is
klase.
adjusting sa new normal.
Talaga din iba ngayon. Buti na lang nga yung pagdating ng CHED. Alam mo ba yun na meron talagang gustong humapol talaga para kasi doon sila nung nalaman na natanggap sila, gusto nilang mag-aral talaga. Iba talaga yung kasi financially and also mga ano talaga in terms of networks. Ito talaga iba talaga ngayon. So for now, let's just wait if they have any questions to ask to Doc Cherry.
Yes.
Guys, any questions, guys? Questions? May questions ka ba, partner, about sa ating ano ngayon?
Ikaw, partner, may question ka ba?
Well, for now kasi, nag-a-analyze ako in what, ano ba talagang best way or paano po pa, Doc, mayroon akong question pa. Doc Cherry, may question po since wala pa pong question iba. Paano po ba natin isosolve yung mga estudyante na naghihirap po sa mga signal nila? Kasi may quiz pero may time limit tapos may iba na hindi nakatake po. So what is the best advice po in terms of yung mga estudyante na mahina talaga yung signal at saka yun na po, mahina yung mga signal po sa kanila, hindi sila naka-answer the activity pero gusto pa rin nila.
Okay, that is really a very challenging question, no, because as I've mentioned kanina, as we embark in this online teaching virtual class, that is really one of the challenge, no, that we are experiencing our internet connection. So it depends naman din on the flexibility of your school because there are other modalities like for example, in terms of flexibility, pag hindi naka-attend sila ah, ng yung online quiz, then there is a packed materials na ibibigay for the students that contains already all the quizzes of the chapters that will also be taught online. So just in case merong mga disruptions. But I'm not sure if that is part of the package of yours what your school is offering. Kaya nga we have to have our own yung system kasi pwede maka-upload ng mga materials doon where students can just download, no, and answer. So parang magiging homeschooling na kumbaga ang setup niya. But while sa to step backward, na-mention ko din kanina that other schools, they are really having three options because students would know if kaya ng mga internet connections. So upon enrollment, the students have to choose whether they will go for online teaching or modular because yung mga internet connections nila ay hindi kaya. So, in the school where I came from before, so most students, because the signal there in somewhere in Panabo is very low, so mas maraming students ang pumili ng modular approach than the online teaching approach. So yun, they gave options for the students. I'm not sure if anong setup ninyo sa John Paul, anong mga gina-offer ng school for the students.
I see. Thank you po, Doc Cherry, for that wonderful answer po. Um, Paano po ba yung mga ano po? Paano po din ba yung mga working students who are struggling online po ngayon? Like, may kilala po din ako na classmate niyon. Like, he is working while also learning or studying po. What is
So
the best advice for them
the
po?
same thing, modular approach will solve that problem.
Modular.
Because, but I think there is no one solution really for everything kasi iba-iba, varied kasi ang mga cases natin, no? Especially students. Even before, meron namang mga working students talaga. Even wala pa ang online teaching, even with the traditional classroom, meron talagang working students. That's why merong mga night classes, 'di ba? Merong mga weekend classes. So that kind of setup can still be done. Pero online na nga lang siya. But still makita natin in mga news na merong mga those working in Jollibee, right? Or in McDonald's or any fast food chain na while they are serving, they are also having classes. So, depende na siguro yun sa setup na gi-enroll ng students. Kasi primarily naman, before you enroll, you know already the offering of the school. So,
Yes.
kung hindi siya kaya sa schedule mo, you have this liberty to choose other school that fits really your need. Otherwise, magiging useless yung learning experience nyo because the schools cannot cater to all of the concerns of the students in terms of availability. Pero based na din on my experience, yun lang ang ikinaganda ng homeschooling setup or the modular approach because it is self-paced and it is flexible. Meron lang iset na deadline. For example, the modules will be submitted to the teachers in a certain period of time, and you can decide your own schedule as to when you are going to answer the checklist or where you are going to study specific subjects. So mas ano siya, mas flexible siya na approach. Pero yun nga, as of what I've said, wala namang universal kasi
Opo.
na strategy that we can really target all situations.
But for now po talaga, Doc, is we're just gonna wait for talagang babalik talaga yung normal po talaga kasi po sa COVID po. Kasi
Yeah, we really hope so. We really hope so. But as I've mentioned, let's just take this one as an opportunity to design more models for our students' convenience. Yun lang. Pero let us just be patient as students because it is and it was very difficult for the school also to adjust. It requires a lot of resources, manpower, money, and whatever that they have to put up para lang just for you to continue your education. Otherwise, kung hindi sila mag-offer, di mawalan din ang mga students, di ba? So let us just be patient and trust your school, trust your administrators that they are doing your best. They are doing their best para sa inyo, para sa mga students.
Yes po. Yes po, Doc. Yes po talaga. Talagang pati nga po ngayon, Doc, is like more students in Twitter and social media are like promoting talaga na gusto nila talaga mag-academic freeze kasi po talaga sa kahirap-hirap po.
Yes, there is a call for academic freeze, really, because yun nga yung challenges. We are saying na we are prepared, but actually in the ground, especially in far-flung areas, it's really very hard for them to access. But I believe naman may mga measures na ginawa ang mga schools, 'di ba? Especially John Paul, in order to get a feedback from the capacity of the students. Kung kaya ba ng students in terms of devices, kaya ba ng students in terms of the setup or internet connection. So I believe so may mga measures ang schools ninyo, no, for them to decide on what kind of modality they will offer for the students.
Yes, tama, Doc. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you so
Doc,
much.
talaga for the insights and information kung ano talaga ang magandang gawin.
Yes.
So far, we'll just wait and for more suggestions if
Okay.
mga talaga sa mga students po din natin po in this, also this mga first year and also or mga currently enrolled here in John Paul mga other years. But for now, let us move on and we would like to give a certificate to Doc Cherry Manuel. Let us wait for the certificate to be posted on the screen. Okay, so here is the certificate of recognition.
So this certificate of recognition is given to Dr. Cherry May Manuel in grateful recognition and commendation for her invaluable time and exemplary effort as our resource person in the first year programmatic activity entitled Navigating College in the New Normal, given this 16th day of September 2020 in Davao City, signed by Dr. Cynthia Linda P. Galinero, our Dean of Student Affairs, Engineer Joselito B. Lim, our AVP Student Services. Thank you.
Once again, thank you very much for Doc
Thank
Cherry
you so
Manuel.
much. Thank you
Really,
so much, John Paul
an honor
College.
to be with you. And also, okay, Doc. So, Doc, baka may gusto ko pang sabihin, Doc Cherry.
Wala na so
Wala.
far.
Thank you po
Thank
talaga.
you so
It was
much,
really an
Doc.
honor po talaga.
Yes.
I really learned.
Hopefully, I was able to meet your expectation on the topics, no, of the content of the topics that I shared this afternoon. I would like to hear from you with your evaluation on my sharing, if you learned something for my improvement also as a speaker, because as a person we need to improve also. No one knows everything already, so I would like also to hear and learn from you.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yes, we have learned a lot and we will have an evaluation after this. So, sayang naman po talaga, no, kasi hindi po natin makakasama yung ibang participants for a photo opportunity. Yes, sayang naman po talaga. Okay lang ba talaga kung tayo-tayo lang? We'll get a chance, to have a picture with our beautiful team. Yes, our research
our
speaker.
beautiful resource person.
Kung pwede lang, sino po ba mag-take ng picture? Si ano po ba, yung isa po natin. Shelby, if you're there, can you please like have let us screenshot this opportunity kasi hindi na po natin nakasama yung iba, at least may memory po tayo with Doc Cherry.
Yes.
So ready na po tayo, Doc?
Sure.
1, 2, 3, smile. Ayan, isa pa po. 1, 2, 3, smile po. Ayan, wow
Thank
talaga.
you so much.
Smile natin.
Parang naiiyak pa.
So maingay na po konti po natin dito po, Doc Cherry, because they're having their fitness dito sa school.
Oh.
Naman, encouraging people na magiging fit, no, kahit nasa quarantine or nasa bahay.
Yes. Let us be creative
Yes naman po.
with our
So now,
ideas.
we will post the evaluation link here at the screen in front of you. So guys, don't forget to fill up the evaluation. Nandiyan na po talaga sa ating screen. That's our evaluation link. Kung pwede po ba ma-send sa ating chat box para po ma-click nila. Guys, pwede po ba natin malagay po sa chat box sa atin ang link?
Ayun, okay.
Ayan po. So, nandiyan po na evaluation list. And also, guys, don't forget your attendance. Guys, kailangan po natin yan because it's a requirement.
Yeah.
Talagang magsisisi kayo pag hindi nyo gagawin yung attendance sa evaluation link. Okay? It will be part of your clearance soon enough. Kaya mag-survive kayo, dapat do your attendance and also the evaluation link. So that's it for now, and I would like to thank you for the person behind here and the mga tao na behind this program or event. Yes, I would like to also thank the Supreme Student Council as heading here, and also the man behind with this magic and the technical stuff, Steve Marquez, and lastly our beautiful and extravagant, beautiful and grabe talaga. With all the adjectives I could want to say. Let me also thank our Dean of Student Affairs. Talaga siya po talaga nag-handle. A round of applause to pwede po pa. A round of applause. Yes, thank you po very much. And don't forget guys, our prelim examination will be on September 21 to 27. And after that will be our intramural September 28 to October 2. So guys, don't forget guys, if gusto niyo sumali, doon po kayo, huwag po mahiya mag-chat sa yung mga departmental officers.
Yeah, officers report.
Show your creativity and power and skills and passion, lahat-lahat.
Excited ako, partner.
Excited din ako.
Yeah.
Talagang makita natin yung, especially the e-sports, talagang hinihintay natin yung mga ibang tao dyan, ng mga
Dito
estudyante.
makikita gano'ng creative yung mga estudyante natin.
Talaga, in skills in their, po. So guys, don't forget guys to join, to communicate with your departmental officers. Then and also we would like to like and share the FB pages of SJP2CD OSA,
Supremo Consejo,
JP Chronicles,
and other respective department FB pages.
Yes, naman tayo. So kung nagiginitin natin music na yan, it's a very 90s talaga. Di ko naririnig nila. So once again guys, we have the evaluation link here. So don't forget guys to evaluate and also do your attendance. Once again, I'm Jose Joshua Habol.
And I'm Lizer De Diaz.
Thank you and God bless us all. Bye-bye po. God bless. Once again, kung gusto nyo mag-type, I am a JPC yan. I am a JPC yan. Yun yung ginawa namin. Use your official GSUD account in all school transactions. Remember that, guys. From entering your email into forms o kailangan pa talaga if nakalagay din, you need to use your GSUD account. If you have any concerns, kung hindi nyo ma-open yung GSUD nyo, just chat the SJP2CD admission or the SJP2CD ICT operations. Nandiyan na po yung mga Facebook nila. Kung pwede po dyan ma-type po yung please do, pakitype na po ng SJP2CD ICT operation and SJP2CD admission para malaman nila kung anong FB pages ang kanilang pupuntahan. So guys,
yan para sa mga first review.
oo guys, grabe talaga. Alam mo talaga, may tinapuntahan ka lang kami na isang tao. Yung kaibigan ko na, nakita mo ba yung post ng mama ko? Yung admission. Pumunta lang kasi kailangan talaga in order to help naman din. Don't be shy guys. You could also ask me in terms of the Edmodo. My Facebook page, my Facebook is Jose Joshua Habol. Don't be shy. I can also entertain people or persons na para if you have ever questions. That's Jose Joshua Jabon. That's Jabon. It's J-A-B-O. So don't be shy to chat me kung nahihiya kayo mag-chat. And the evaluation link will be closed by 12 midnight. Meron pa ba tayo mga kasama dito? Yes, hashtag JPC yan. Oo. Sabi nga dito ni Charles Brian Dana, welcome. I love your accent, di ba? Welcome. Welcome. That's welcome po. Welcome. Yes, I love your accent. So now, is it done? Are we good? Goodbye. Bye. Once again, goodbye guys. Thank you very much for joining. Like and share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Alright. Yes, and also to end this program, I almost forgot. Sorry to formally end this program, let us now focus our eyes on the screen for our school hymn. While waiting, partner, so talaga partner, I can see the beauty in your eyes.
Paano yung I can see your
I can see the beauty. Hindi, bawal kasi tanggalin partner kasi for safety measures.
Always wear your face shield, face mask, and Maintain social distancing.
Yes, maintain social
When
distancing.
they are at campus, they have to wear the school.
Yes. And guys, if ever pupunta po kayo sa school, don't forget to wear the school dress code.
Yeah, dress
So,
code.
bawal po mag-shorts, bawal po mag-slippers, bawal po yung mga sexy
Tattered.
naman natin.
Bawal.
Bawal po yung tattered. Bawal po yung above the knee na
Dresses.
dresses and skirts. Yeah, palda, skirts. So, bawal po yung mga sando-sando natin, guys. Bawal po yung mga sexy revealing na mga bawal makita, guys. Respeto lang. Kung gusto nyo pakita, doon na lang muna sa labas, okay? Mas maganda doon yun. We have a question. How about po, the ICT operation po didn't get response or concern. What will happen to my attendance and evaluation status po?
Email to it.
Okay, so email to the OSA secretary. Nandiyan na po yung link. So for now, wait for a second.
Also secretary at SPCCD.net.
Okay, so wait lang tayo, no? Wait. So sa'yo muna tayo, guys. Dapat tayo, being healthy person.
Being healthy. Alis ba ako?
Hindi partner. Healthy yan. Ano ba? Ang malaki ng pinagbago natin, kaya ganun tayo ka-healthy kasi may pinagbuhan na. We are to change for the better. Diba? For the better ba yan, partner? Yes, it is.
Hindi ako nasasagot.
Parang healthy naman dyan. No? So guys, don't worry. If you have any more questions, you can just type in the chat box. So po kayo
Don't
may...
hesitate to ask po.
You can also have my number.
May number na yun.
Joke lang. You can have my Facebook page if you have any question about Nmoda and also other stuff. Yes po tayo partner na. Patuloy po tayo sa ating part dito. Don't forget guys, if you have your school ID na, or appointment, remember, just go to the SJP2CD library. Tama po ba ako? Library. Or may pa ba yung registrar for the validation of your ID.
Wala pa schedule.
Wala pang schedule pa daw.
For the
To
schedule.
be announced naman tayo. Guys, expect na to study well for this week, for the next week's examination.
Laban lang.
Nakaka-stress, di ba? Grabe. Ako stress ako ngayon, pero kita na fresh pa ako. Saan ko kunin ang permit? Good question. Nice question, partner. Doon may makakuha po sa SJP2CD registrar. Pero face-to-face na po ba ating po ngayon? Online pa rin. Okay, you can get your online sa SJP2CD registrar. Registrar rather. Okay. Okay, so we will now have our school key.
Dapat memorize nila.
For a moment, to entertain you, I will dance for you. Technical difficulty muna tayo po, diba?
Di may iwasan yan, partner. Technical difficulty.
Di may iwasan talaga magkamali yung isang tao. Okay, so I already messaged for that link po, but there is not yet a response. Am I going to find a conflict with it at last? Email,
Again,
Isa,
email
Apple
me.
Mendez,
Yeah.
email mo lang sa OSA Secretary at sdp2cd.ph edu.ph. Kulang yung sinabi. Ma'am, di po makapasok ang account ko sa GSUP, ma'am. Bakit po ba yan? Di mo ba na-remember yung password mo? Mali lang ba yung pagka-type mo sa iyong email? Or sadyang hindi ka pa-remember?
You set ablaze a spark of gift, inspire our minds with thoughts that lift, nurture these tender dreams of youth. You lead us in our quest for truth. Oh, John Paul, College of Davao, thy wisdom ever guides our way. To noble deeds our lives we vow, never to wander nor go astray. In this world of the great and grand, aim to be true and make us stand, to hold ideals steadfast and pure, amidst the triumphs of life we endure. Oh, John Paul College of Davao, our lights are beacon, you show us how to find best we can be for humanity. Oh, John Paul College of Davao, our lights are beacon then and now. Though the tides of time keep us away, our hearts will hold you near each day.
And here we are again, back here again with the Chica Chica with Jose and Fly. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Vlog na naman to. So we have a question po. I already messaged for that link, but there is not yet response. I'm going to find from the class. So yeah, once again, sa secretary at sjp2cd.edu.ph, meron po isa na ma'am, di po makapasok ang account ko sa G Suite. Ma'am, need permission po talaga ma'am. So once again, ang gagamitin mo yan bro. Bro ka ba? Gagamitin mo yan bro. Iulit mo, dapat G Suite account talaga yung nakalog in. Okay? Clarify, ano mo talaga. I-verify mo or clear things up kung ano bang na-sign in mo, kung tama ba o mali. And ang school po ba is still accepting scholars? I don't know po saan mag-inquire. Nag-message na po ako sa page nung scholar and nung coordinator po pero wala pang response. Well, I guess busy pa po ata sila. So let's just wait for an update. Or you could call. Okay guys, don't worry guys. You could call na lang po if meron pong silang number doon. If you could see it in their Facebook page.
Scholarship and grants.
Okay. We have here the Facebook page. It's SJP2CD Scholarship and Grants Office. Okay po tayo dyan. Don't be shy guys, pero din yung mga ched-ched. Tsaka mga Unipass, if nakaano ba kayo. Don't forget to also, parang nakasign up natin sa Unipass. Is that it? Is that all? Are we clear? So once again, thank you. Thank you and see you soon. Yeah. See you soon at the Intramurals. Once again, magkita tayo doon. Baka ako na naman yung host nyo. Just kung magkikita naman tayo guys, huwag po kayong nahiya. Magkikita naman tayo. Good day po. What is the process of the paying the exam fee? So either po, tama po ba ako?
May post na sila sa
sa kanilang Facebook
accounting.
account, Facebook page. SJP2CD Accounting. Jude, pwede po bang i-chat dyan sa chat box ang Facebook page? You could use the but meron po talagang din po ngayon. Kung pwede, face-to-face may iba din ng face-to-face na
Magpapa-appoint na para.
Wala na, Dok. Kanina lang.
Goodbye! Sorry, nababasa po ko chat. Goodbye once again. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now signing off.